Hello, my name is Catherine Burks, and today I'll be discussing Shane Burks, a Union Labor Relations Manager. So, just to begin, I would like to introduce who Shane is. First of all, Shane is my uncle. Shane worked as a pipe fitter for over 20 years until he became the Labor Relations Manager. Now that he's been in this position, he's been there for over 15 years and he loves it. And he attributes that not to any particular management positions he has held previously, but just a lot of experience dealing with people in the labor force as well as the management force. And so just being able to work his way up with that experience and hard work. Next, I want to talk about what different duties that a union labor relations manager actually holds. So first and foremost, they typically work around a 40-hour week. However, when new contracts come in or old contracts are being renegotiated, Shane says that he typically works about 45 hours a week. And that's just because he has to stay on top of these new contracts and the renegotiated contracts, because when different contracts come in and the changes come in, he needs to be up to date with that language and up to par with the new things that have been added to the contract. So just staying up to par on updated language and the different upgrades that were actually added to each contract is very important. So Shane must maintain literacy on these contracts if he wishes to be able to go over them fairly and decide, okay, this is what management promised and this is what the laborer deserves. So Shane's job also includes discerning disagreements between the laborer and the management. So let's say that there was any issues that the laborer had with the management, he would come to Shane, schedule a meeting, and just say, this is what I think, this is what's happening, and then Shane would bring out his contract and be able to say, this is how it is, either you're in the wrong or management is in the wrong. And so that way they want to really nip it in the bud and not have an issue, just say this is what the contract says, so they can avoid filing a grievance. So just Shane keeping up with the language of the contracts, knowing what the employees need, and just really trying to keep positive relationships between the laborers and management. So that being the job, it's kind of the question, how do you define success in that job? And when I asked Shane that, he had a different answer than his boss that I was privileged to speak with, as well as some of his coworkers. So to Shane's boss, a small number of grievances being filed is what defines success in Shane's position, as well as a good company culture, people getting along, a few employee arguments, and just high job efficiency, getting things done. In terms of the union workers and what they said they felt was defined as success in Shane's position, is just fair treatment and being able to trust that Shane is looking through those contracts and he's discerning, like, yes, you do deserve this and I'm going to look out for you. And same way with the management. I was able to speak with both someone on the labor side and the management side, and that's all they want is fair treatment and being able to trust that Shane does have both parties' best interests in mind. And in terms of what Shane views as success in his position, it's how smoothly things are running and keeping the employees in high spirits and having positive interactions among the laborers and the management and just making sure everything is running smoothly. So in terms of training, as previously mentioned, Shane did not have any management courses prior to his position, and that is the one thing that he says that he would recommend to anybody that wants his position, is to have taken some form of management classes. Fortunately, Shane was able to receive a degree through the Muscle Shoals Technical Institute, as well as a 4-year apprenticeship, and like I previously stated, just a lot of experience. Shane grants his success and credits his success to having experiences in both those areas. But he does say that had he had management courses prior to this job, that there were a lot of things he would have learned a lot quicker and he wouldn't have had to make certain mistakes before going into that. So, in conclusion, it is a very challenging job to be a labor relations manager. You've got to remain impartial to all employees, whether they're laborers or whether they're management, and just experience is the key to success. There's so many things that Shane credits to just being there and working through them himself. So, that is my Uncle Shane, and this is Labor Relations Management.